While they posted, I prepared. While they partied, I studied. While they flexed, I vanished. I didn't want attention. I wanted results. Most people train for attention. I trained for war. No posts, no validation, just sweat, just silence, just obsession. I remember the night I pulled the plug. One final swipe, one last recycled meme, and then darkness. The phone screen died in my palm like a star collapsing, and the noise drained from my skull. I could hear my own pulse, steady, relentless, demanding battle. I buried the phone in a drawer the way soldiers bury the fallen. Quick, decisive, no looking back. But it wasn't just plastic and pixels I killed. I slew excuses, distractions, half-committed friendships built on boredom. I erased birthdays an algorithm reminded me of. Ghosted group chats that celebrated mediocrity. They called it rude. I called it necessary. If I was going to break the chain that tied me to average, I had to climb alone. The first week was agony. Silence can scream when you've lived inside a carnival. Without the blue glow of nightlife on a screen, the room felt prehistoric. Hunger stalked me. Hunger for sugar, dopamine, quick wins, and quicker praise. I fed that hunger iron. Iron plates, iron standards, iron rules. Wake at 4:30. No snooze, no debate. Train before sunrise. Eat only fuel, never comfort. Study 2 hours nightly. Log every rep, every calorie, every hour of sleep. I wrote those rules in permanent marker and taped them to the fridge, the bathroom mirror, the inside of my eyelids. Every rule was a nail sealing the coffin of the weaker me. Yet the furnace wasn't stoked by reps alone. It was powered by the battlefield of 2:43 a.m. when the brain begs for a forgotten screen and the hand twitches toward a device already entombed. I lay on the floor, sweat cooling on my spine like fresh cast steel, staring into a ceiling so black it felt outer space empty. In that void, fantasies attacked. Quick fame, trending sounds, highlight reels I could post tomorrow for instant applause. I strangled each hallucination with calloused fingers until it stopped squirming. Sleep itself became an arena. 4 hours, sometimes 3, carved around shift work and study sprints. Every REM cycle was a pit stop. In, repair, out. Dreams flashed, then vanished under the 4:30 alarm. Feet hit the floor before thought could negotiate. Cold shower, black coffee, notebook open to objectives already inked the night before, waiting like rounds in a magazine. Discipline isn't a habit, it's a chain of violent ambushes on your weaker impulses. They call it monk mode online. Post a smiling selfie with a book for proof. Let them. There are no selfies of what I became. My skin went pale from pre-sunrise starts and post-sunset finishes. Hands split and scarred. Calluses formed haphazard armor. When co-workers asked what I'd been up to, I shrugged. The truth was untranslatable. I was carving a killer from bone and discipline. Saturday nights, the city pulsed with neon and liquor, but I hunted staircases. 32 steps at the library, 27 behind the mall, 51 at the stadium. Up, down, until my thighs felt like molten lead. Each climb, a small death. Each descent, a rebirth. My diet stripped away softness. Oats, eggs, spinach, chicken, water. No sauces, no sugar, no compromise. Friends invited me to brunch. I declined. They said I was missing out. I was, on empty calories, gossip, stagnation. Muscle alone doesn't win wars. Mind does. When the sweat dried, I turned pages until my eyes blurred. Strategy, psychology, biographies of legends who built empires where failure meant death, not dislikes. Stoic lessons, samurai codes, the science of habit. Notes stacked like iron plates. Knowledge became another layer of armor across my ribs. While they streamed shows, I diagrammed execution plans, business models, training cycles, certification roadmaps. I spoke them aloud in the dark to hear conviction bouncing off concrete walls. The echo was the only approval stamp I allowed. Obscurity hurts. Post a win, get no likes, feel rejected. Now erase likes entirely. Work in a bunker where no one sees, no one cares, and the only applause is your heartbeat slowing from a sprint. That's the crucible. Month 1, it burned. By month 3, it fueled me. Every unseen hour, compounded interest no algorithm could track. While they begged for motivation, I built discipline. The invisible knife sharpened in silence. When the reckoning arrives, it flashes once and ends the fight before the crowd realizes danger. Training stopped being healthy and started asking, how much agony can you swallow before you fold? I crossed that line daily. Sandbag runs until arches screamed. Pull-ups until elbow tendons crackled. Ice baths so cold, teeth locked together. I wasn't chasing aesthetics. I was interrogating limits, and interrogation left bruises. Injury whispered sabotage. Strained hamstring urged rest. I answered with push-ups. Sprained wrist begged off lifts. I shoved a weighted sled until quads tore microscopic fibers. Pain became a roommate, unwelcome but tolerated, because it paid rent in resilience. In the darkest sessions, when the room spun and pulse hammer-fisted my skull, I remembered why. War. Not bullets and battlefields, but the war for every promotion, contract, roster spot, every inch of terrain called respect. I wasn't training to impress. I was training to dominate. Seasons changed. Leaves browned, vanished, returned green, while I remained underground. By spring, my silhouette had changed. Traps like ramparts, eyes sharpened, jaw hardened. I carried myself like a drawn bow, silent but violence implied. No announcement. I surfaced. At a pickup court where I once got pushed around, I dropped 30 points. Took a certification exam, top 1%. Visited the gym at rush hour. Repped weights local influencers staged for thumbnails. They lowered cameras. When I finished sets, they thought impossible. Whispers of steroids, secret programs. They missed the obvious. I'd unearthed myself beneath their mattress of comfort. Opportunity doesn't knock politely. It detonates when it senses you're armed. Mine came as a regional fitness and mind gauntlet. 3 days, 20 events, endurance, strength, cognition. I registered under a name no one recognized. Event after event, I moved like a machine wearing skin, rode a half marathon and stepped off smiling, solved complex puzzles mid-heart rate while rivals panted, deadlifted twice body weight for reps on a platform slick with chalk and doubt. I didn't look at the crowd. I spoke with the ghost of the quitter I'd killed months ago. Final event, weighted stair climbs and mental arithmetic. The field shredded. Cameras finally found the nobody from nowhere, but they were late. The story had been written in the dark. I won, not by a hair, but by a canyon. The trophy looked small, childish, beside scars on my knuckles. I lifted it once, not for applause, but so the lights would blind the crowd the way my work would blind their excuses. Messages flooded in. Where have you been? What program are you on? Let's link up. They typed like I owed them blueprints to my fortress. I answered with silence, the same silence they left me in at the start. Mystery is a heavier weapon than any barbell. Brands dangled sponsorships. I read contracts the way predators inspect baited traps. Most were cheap logos for years of sweat. A few aligned with principles I bled for: simplicity, authenticity, brutality. Attention is currency. I'd spent years investing in myself. I wouldn't squander it now. An old friend said I'd changed. I smiled. Change wasn't a byproduct. It was the mission objective. You didn't hear from me because I was working. Now you can't ignore me because I won. That sentence is a blade. I keep it sheathed behind my teeth, flashing it only when someone asks for the shortcut. There is no shortcut, only the tunnel, unlit and unforgiving. I walked it. Anyone can, few will. This isn't a story, it's a warning. To every person coasting in comfort, someone like me is in the dark, building the weapon that'll replace them. I'm already back beneath the surface, sharpening for the next campaign. Celebrate if you want, scroll if you must. Every second you spend in comfort is another second I'm converting into power. The dark taught me this: comfort is the coffin, and I refuse burial.